Here we are. Buenos dias, my fellow traders. Hope all is well. That you had a great night of sleep. I know I did. I tried to have me a real good night of sleep. Um, Let us go ahead and jump into the market for today. For Europe, everything is down. Europe market fall as mining stocks lead losses. Ain't that something? Asia is mixed. The only two that are up is ASX 200 and the Nikkei. Those are the only two that are up. Welcome to another day of trading and the morning show. I am Jamie Irvin, and we are well on our way for this morning. All right. For earnings today, we have over in this corner, we got a couple things happening with Canopy Growth reported this morning, as well as Sony. Those are the main two that we were looking at. We did mention Blooming Brands as well. Blooming Brands, if you're familiar, that's a restaurant. They own restaurants. And so we did see some of those. But those were the main ones that we were looking at for this week. I'm going to switch this up. Let us take a look at our Forex Factory calendar list. We have two orange folders. It's starting at 10 o'clock. The preliminary University of Michigan consumer sentiment and the preliminary University of Michigan inflation expectations. So both of those are at 10 o'clock. We also have at 11 o'clock an orange folder, FOMC member Bowman speaks. And at 2:30, yellow folder, FOMC member Muslim speaks. So that's two yellow folders. I don't know if I called that one an orange folder. There's two yellow folders that's happening right there. All right. And then for our investing.com calendar, we have the full list. So this is the Michigan 1 year and 5 year inflation expectations for November, as well as the consumer expectations for Michigan for November. All of those are 2 stars, along with the Michigan consumer sentiment for November. There's a 1 star, which is Michigan current conditions for November. Over here, FOMC member Bowman speaking is 2 stars. That's 2 stars. And then we have the WASDE report. Now, if anybody, and I do mean anybody, is familiar with that report, if you have some type of knowledge on the WASDE report, please let us know what that is. And that is, let's see here, 2 stars. That's at noon. Starting at 1 o'clock, we got the U.S. Baker Hughes oil rig count and the total rig count for U.S. Baker Hughes, both 2 stars. At 2:30, that's when we get the report for the speculative net positions, the CFTC, speculative net positions. And that is, we got aluminum, copper, corn, crude oil, gold, NASDAQ 100, natural gas, S&P 500, silver, soybean, wheat. All right. Some of those are 2 stars. Crude oil, gold, NASDAQ, and S&P 500 are the ones that are 2 stars in that mix. And again, the U.S. Baker Hughes reportings, all of that is also 2 stars at noon. So depending on how much credence you put into this whole entire mix, they may or may not help determine when you get into your trades. But it's good to be aware of it. As for Mancini, after a nonstop rally since 58.71 longs Wednesday, SPX is finally taking its first breather and undergoing price discovery. as posted, 59.78, 59.48 is chop, with 6K being mid pivot and magnet now. No change, sets up 59.78, then break out to 59.85, 6004. Sell today, 59.48. All right. So what is that telling us? 59.78, 59.48. Those are the main two that we can put on a, oh my God. We do SPX. I literally hate that it keeps changing my 59.78. All right, we'll do it this way. Mancini. We're gonna look at SPX on the 15-minute chart. And see, something's going on because squeezing this information in a way that I do not like. All right, 59.78 and 59.48. Let's see what we come up with. And these other ones I'm going to delete because these are the ones from the other day, or from yesterday rather, that we put in. All right. So this one right here disappears to 59.48. Alrighty. So we take this one out. So this is what we'll be watching for the day. We can always put the green ones above it for the breakout colors as well, which will be 59.85 and 6004. So we can always do that. 59.85. Boom, boom. And 6004. We are doing this just so that when we come back to look at the chart throughout the day, have an idea of what the numbers are. This is breaking past the previous high on the 15-minute chart as we speak. This is what happened on yesterday when it opened. Pretty much just took off. It based for a while and it just kept going back up. It is really trying to find this level, seller level. We are at all-time highs at this point anyway. I'm going to mark the 15-minute chart. The first candle has already formed, so we can put that in there and keep it moving. All right. So that's what we got. First 15 minutes marked. It is trying to break through that currently. And don't forget, we got this gap down here, which is a buyer's gap. It's 59.48. This 59.48 area will be something to watch in the future. Do not think it will never come back down to touch that again, because that is very likely to happen. All right. But for right now, that's what we're looking at. Again, these are the Mancini numbers that we just put in. And then do it this way. I can actually see those. All right. Let's take a look at SPY. I have no idea why this thing is squishing down my candles like this. This is something started today. That's irritating. That's something that always happens in trade station. I'm not used to that happening in Thinkorswim. Anyway, this is SPY. We put this stuff in the other day, but this is what is happening. If you want to see the visual version of SPY, this is the last swing point that was there. This is where it turned around before and where it broke past. And this is the gap that was created. And here's another one. And another one. There you go. What do you think is going to happen when this starts coming back down? That's a buyer's gap as well. And to be honest with you, there's another gap. Oh, geek out. There's another gap right here. Yep, I said geek. Right there. I highly doubt that's going to stop moving around up there. This is 597. This is where we at on the high point. No telling how that's going to play out today, but I will say it's too early for me to even look at getting in, but those of you who at least like to take a peek, I would say I would seriously be looking at like 594. I would at least start looking there. But I definitely would give it some time to calm down. I would not be messing around with a above the rim, if you want to say that. I do think Janae is asking that we ready to cross 6,000. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think so. I don't know if it'll happen today, but I just kind of feel like the way it has been acting recently. Now, I don't know how long we'll stay above 6,000, but I definitely think maybe right. This is Russell 2K. And I'm just going to mark the first candle on Russell. We'll sit and watch what it does. Bring this down. See down here and small key. Here and here. And then just going to put in these next levels. It's probably going to have to work its way through to get up higher. And then we'll keep it moving. Because remember, everybody and their mama right now is at all-time highs. All right, so we'll just put this somewhere in here. Get one down here. One here. Something like that. I will be happy with that. And then I usually will mark, I usually put an alert. Since I trade the 15-minute breakout, I will do an alert here. Keep putting one. This alert. Create alert at or above bullish. Create alert at or below All I'm doing is just making a note of when that breaks up, which is what it just did right here. I really should have did a little bit higher above this second candle right here. But anyway, I just set those in there to let me know what's happening. Let's see here. This looks like Pinterest. Look at the drop on there. Seller's gap. Is seller's gap because price was pushed down. Put that like there. Now, for those of you not aware, Pinterest just had earnings. So this is a post-earnings move, if you will. And if you want to set up a seller zone to chart or to look at today's candle, that gap is essentially forming the leg out. Normally, I wouldn't even put this up yet until this last candle was formed for today, or until today's candle was formed, I should say. But the way this formation is, leg in, base, leg out, that one seems to be kind of obvious. So I'm okay with that one. But put credit spread is what I'll be looking at, since this is a seller's gap right here. It would not surprise me if this bounces off of here another couple times. Last I checked, Pinterest is not a fast moving stock. So it would not surprise me if it doesn't blow right through there immediately. Obviously, I could be wrong. Some of everything is happening. But last time I checked. All right. Leg in, base, leg out is what I'm looking at here. To be honest with you, I don't love this formation. These formation in here, all of these little kibbles and bits looking stuff. This is one of those that I would either probably go to the weekly just to see if the weekly had stronger formations like this. I'll be more prone to chart this buyer zone down here because I like this one a little bit better. It's clearer. Leg in, base, leg out. And actually, to be honest with you, I wouldn't have a problem doing this one down here on the weekly. Why are we looking at the weekly? Because it's a higher concentration of numbers. Weekly chart is going to be more definitive. Hopefully, depending on the chart you're looking at, it could possibly be more definitive. Leg in, base, leg out. This is a much stronger formation than the one we were looking at. However, this one here is closer to price. So that is why I'm also charting that one. This one, and for the seller zone, this could be considered a little bit trickier because this this wick has already gone right through this zone. So some people would consider that already used up, for example. And so I can see that as well. But to just give me some basic numbers and give me something to look at, I'll be trying to figure this out. So these line represents on the weekly the ones that was closest to price, right? So it's still included. Of course, this little section right here that I already had charted. But at the end of the day, the important thing is to know where the buyers and the sellers are. And so I'll be looking down here. Let's see. $28. I would at least be looking down in this $28 area. So let's see. And well, Pens was just posted in the chat. No, please, thank you, and or strike price. I mean, expiration. So I would assume next week, maybe. Let's go in next week. This is a half a spread and 9 cents. If you're going with that for a PCS, I actually switched that to a one spread. So that's 10 cents for a one spread, 27.5 minus 26.5 gives you the one. So that's it's not bad. 10 cents on that. All right, player. Because of this gap right here, which is about $3, I most certainly would be eventually looking at a call credit spread at the top as well. Which is actually, let me check that out real quick. That other one was for next week's expiration, but I was just wondering how small the premiums would be for this week for a call credit spread, because I did not look at that. All right, 30.5, 31.5. Oh, that's 10 cents as well. All right, down in Condor. Okay. Collecting some decent premium on there. Got it. Right, this is Bank of America. Also gap up. Let me see. $50 is its high on the monthly. Got to switch to the monthly just to see what the highest point is. And we definitely have room to run. Run, Forrest. Definitely got room to run. And it is breaking past a recent high on the monthly chart. So that's happening. Okay. So it is doing its thing on the monthly. Might as well take a look at the weekly, see what's happening. And we can put a weekly swing point right here. Price came, did his little dance more than once around here. And I'll put one more in there. All right. Now we're talking. So we already know that we have a gap up right here that we can mark. Boom, boom. Right? When this gapped up to here, price pushed it down. So I'm acknowledging the price pushing it down. So that's why I didn't go all the way up to the base of the candle. This is a gap up right here. Right, and I like to take advantage of the leg out whenever I am charting as much as possible. And that gap up is taking advantage of the leg out. And then we're going to switch over to our option chain. Boing. All right. So I have leg in, two in the base, leg out right here. Let's moonwalk on over here to see what we got. Bing, 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 bing. All right. It's a little bit going on. I would be okay with this. Leg in, base, leg out. I would be okay with that for a seller zone. It is the closest one. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I would be okay with that. And since this gap is sitting right here, do not be surprised if this bounces off of here again. I first would be looking at a put credit spread since that gap can provide support. I don't expect there to be any premiums right now. So let's move on to, let's move on to next week. You might even have to move on to the week after because Bank of America is not a fast mover at all whatsoever. Snail paced is what you got with them. Like for real. All right. I always make stuff a one spread. I know some people do 50-cent spreads, but I usually go one spread. So I see 8 cents on $100 collateral. So there's 8%. Now, of course, you can always do one of those numbers. Some people might want to mosey on getting closer. You know, you got that happening. I wouldn't do it. Any closer, 44.5 is 73% out the money. Not happening. So you can wait to see if it comes down a little bit and gets closer, or you can, just increase the amount that you were asking for, doing those numbers, and then just confirm and let it sit in the system. It's always possible. It's not illegal. Okay. And then 44, let's see. Just to show you, 44 will be here. So 43, 44 will be the top of this gap in that area. For those of you who prefer to exhibit some form of bravery in your trading, and you go to the you go above to the call credit spread. It's 11 cents. That's 46. 46 is up in here. So you will be up here, that was a chill formation that we charted. So that's what could make this iron condor as well. All right. I'm not sure if why is this doing that? Okay. There you go. We're gonna check in all these suckers. So irritating. Okay. I came back to the Pinterest chart because I couldn't remember if I looked at the call credit and put credit spread. So if we're doing next week, that's 30.5 strike would be right in here. 30.5, 30.5, 30.5. That's in that gap, by the way. So 30.5 would be in here. This is where it's retesting off of today or pulling back from today. So at the top of there will be 30.5. Right now, that's saying 14 cents on $100 collateral or $14 on $100 collateral. And then $28, $28 would be 15 cents. So down here, which makes sense because price is pushing up and down. So that's the value. You know, some people like to put their entire iron condor in all at once, but the value of putting it in one side at a time is that, you know, when it comes down closer to, let's say, if you're on the support side, when it comes down closer, you get higher premiums because price is getting closer to it, and the same on the other side. So it's one of the benefits of doing those separately. But so you're looking at, if you're looking at the iron condor, I mean, for one spread, you're definitely looking at over 20% return on collateral for iron condor. Again, that's what you will be collecting once you go to close it and stuff like that. That's a different ball of wax, so to speak. So that's the iron condor side of that over there. Okay, let's take a look at SPX and see what SPX is talking about in terms of whether or not it broke out of its 15-minute cage. It didn't. It's trying to. It's getting smacked around a little bit. Let's see what Russell is doing. Russell 2000 has left the building. Russell 2000 usually, at least in my experience, will break out before, sometimes way before SPX, even though there's way more stocks in its quote unquote basket, right? So you have this one breaking out. I'm just marking this particular swing point right here, but this would have been probably a good time somewhere in here to take a look at getting into the PDT hack. All right. That is all that I see from the ticker. Okay. Let's keep it moving. Alrighty. So we have Dow Jones down. Dow Jones is up 0.44%. S&P 500 is up 0.25%. NASDAQ is down 0.05%. And the Russell 2K is up 0.07%. The VIX is down 3.09%. It is lower than what it was yesterday. It is now at 14.73. All right. So don't forget, we still have a couple things left over in terms of 2 stars and 3 stars and orange folders and things of that nature. Right now, the preliminary sentiment and things are happening. But the other stuff in terms of, what was it? The Waves reports of noon and 1 o'clock is when some of this other stuff is happening, and 2:30. Some of these 2-star events, okay? Let's rotate around to the E2T daily declaration by faith. I'm a successful trader. I'm a wise and knowledgeable trader. I make smart and lucrative decisions for my portfolios. Money likes me because money is comfortable around me. It is drawn to me. E2T daily prayer. Lord, give us wisdom and knowledge for our trades today. Help us to make smart and lucrative decisions for our portfolios. Okie dokie, people. We want you to stay green. Get this money. You to have a great trading day. If you had any questions, post them in the chat box below. We got our Telegram, folks. We will be putting the Man City numbers in Telegram as soon as this stream ends, okay? All right, be careful. Make sure you check your charts before you enter, just to be on the safe side. I'm JB Irvin. You all have a great and profitable day. And then if we don't hear from you, we'll see you on our next live broadcast. Have a good one.